brilliant win in Spain in midweek and 7 points clear in the Premiership and unbeaten. It couldn't go wrong today, could it? As those London derby specialists Charlton arrived at Highbury. Peter Drury was there.
Nothing, not even Highbury, lasts forever. A goal kick away, men are now at work on a residence fit for the future of this historic club. So for this most enduring and evocative of English football's homes, the famous clock ticks tellingly. Nothing, not even Arsenal's sublime current form, lasts forever, so one day they will lose a league game again, but still unbeaten in this season's Premiership and 5 wins on the spin, they look as strong as ever today, reinforced by Ashley Cole's return at left-back and in place of Jose Antonio Reyes by Dennis Bergkamp's reappearance up front. Charlton's foundations are wobbled a bit by the suspension of Chris Perry. Jonathan Fortune starts for the first time since Boxing Day, and Jason Ewell tweaked her knee in training, so last week's match winner Klaus Jensen plays. Dozen games to go, 7 points clear. It is Arsenal's to lose. It is also, however, 300 days precisely since Arsenal did lose to anyone in the Barclaycard Premiership. May the 4th, Leeds won here, Manchester United won the title. Since then, it has gone pretty well, unequivocally, smoothly for the Gunners. But Charlton have given them problems in the memorable and relatively recent past. Utterly happy and constructive week in the life of Arsenal and of Arsene Wenger, documented well in today's matchday programme. There he is on the centre circle of the new ground. Here's Edu. Henry. Flicking elegantly right from the start. Cole. Pires. In search today of his 50th Arsenal goal. Bergkamp. Vieira. Kolo Toure. Arsenal 26 unbeaten at the start of the season in the Premiership, 28 unbeaten in the Premiership overall. 26 London derbies since last they lost one to Charlton, as it happens, on this ground. Here is Ljungberg though for Arsenal. In for Henry, back for Freddie Ljungberg, and Robert Pires collects his 50th goal for the club inside 100 seconds. Fluid and cogent right from the off. This is a team that looks week after week like champions. Their knowledge of each other's position and run is second to none. Everything about them is true and pure. Pires' final connection perhaps an exception, but he got enough on it, and Arsenal are immediately ahead. The picture from any angle is a happy one, and Charlton have to chase the game at Highbury, which ain't an easy thing to do. Won by Vieira, touched on by Bergkamp, down the line for Vieira, who hasn't stopped moving here for Arsenal. Vieira, and here is Henry. It's already 2-0 Arsenal, they're flying away. It's not close to 3:05 yet. The clock can't catch up with the team it has watched at this ground for the greater part of a century. Arsenal just steaming out of the blocks, doing things with grace and precision, the way they have done in the Barclaycard Premiership since moment one. There is just no compromise. Just how worried are you for him? Just how concerned is he for himself? Just how grey does that face look to you? Ljungberg. Edu. Henry. Edu. Try. He thinks anything's possible these days. Spent the week in Spain showing the world that he has a right foot as well. But the left foot remains preeminent, and from an awful long way out, he had a depth of self-belief which told him it was worth a pot. Di Canio. Neatly in for Jensen. Jensen's cross for Di Canio, who has space and dug out a shot. Which faded half a yard wide. These are the sorts of moments when one has come to have an expectation of Di Canio to deliver. Takes it back from Bergkamp with Henry ahead of him, and Pires and Bergkamp. It's a fearsome Arsenal 4. Bergkamp got it back from Fortune. Ljungberg's gone outside of him. Bergkamp has delivered. North Bank wanted Edu to have a smack at it. Henry. Ljungberg. Worrying Hreidarsson. Freddie Ljungberg. Touch on it from Kylie. There are just so many potential sources of a goal in the Arsenal side. Freddie Ljungberg is proved to be one of them. Final third of the season has always been Charlton's Achilles heel since their return to the Premiership. And Alan Kirbishley and Mervyn Day head into the final third. Same old worry, can they endure, can they last? Campbell, Bergkamp, Pires, over the top for Thierry Henry, who hit the goalkeeper, yard either side. It was 3-0. The touch that went before was fun. Campbell started it rolling, Pires nicked it in, and Henry nicked it over Hreidarsson before the snapshot. Toure for Pires. Last minute of the first half. Bergkamp. Free kick Arsenal. Within his range. Jonathan Fortune with the zealous tackle. Edu has moved up the free kick queue just recently. He and Henry dispute it. It's Edu. Just enjoying his football now. Right. Held up by Di Canio. Well, it's a blow if your train was late, because you missed Robert Pires and Thierry Henry give Arsenal a 2-goal lead inside the first 4 minutes, and you arrived in time to see Arsenal thereafter take a total stranglehold. They still lead 2-0.
The Premiership on ITV, sponsored by Coca-Cola.
Why while deep in the bush?
Danger, danger, danger. This little guy here, one of the deadliest snakes in the world, is only going to get really grumpy if you knock him or poke him with a little stick. So let's knock him and poke him with a little stick and see what happens.
The impressionable John Calshaw, Wednesday at 10, ITV1.
The Premiership on ITV, sponsored by Coca-Cola.
Previous visitors to Highbury this Premiership season. Only Portsmouth and Fulham have escaped with so much as a point. Were Charlton to do so here, then that would indeed be a feather in their cap. Only beaten inside the first 5 minutes of the first half. Going to have to produce something special throughout the second. Campbell searching out Cole. Cole might have kept it in had he kept his feet. Cole. Pires. Fading away from Holland. Well read by Fortune. Campbell. Heading for Henry. And Henry for Vieira. It's a smashing pass. And Patrick Vieira's hung it up and Kylie has clung onto it and carried it in. Ljungberg knows. That's a nice moment. What a sublime ball from Thierry Henry. Now you see, if Nat Lofthouse had been in there, that would have counted. But it doesn't work for Freddie Ljungberg, half a century on. To Canio. Away from Edu. And from Toure. The challenge was that of Lauren. Canio's on the free kick that Lauren is suggesting he was after. Klaus Jensen. It is a game again. Immaculately placed by Klaus Jensen, who for the second time in 3 years scores memorably at Highbury. Couldn't have been more perfect. Down and out at 3:05. Charlton are back in it at 4:20. The Dane has had a big impact on Charlton's last 8 days. May have a fair impact on Charlton and Arsenal's next half hour, but here is Pires. In for Henry. It's a fine stop by Kylie, who is having a fine game. There is some zip in the contest now. Super ball from Robert Pires. Kylie made himself a big target. And saved with his right foot. Edu. Fish lost it. Henry has it. Ljungberg wants it. Did very well to keep it in play. Freddie Ljungberg on the burst. Eased over by Haridas, and Pires had a shot. Whistle had already gone. Arsenal have a free kick. Bergkamp's free kick. Vieira! Big chance. For the man who found his shooting boots last weekend, Patrick Vieira, but who couldn't find the target from very close and with plenty to aim at. Lauren, Vieira, Pires, foul on Vieira by Haridas, free kick Arsenal. Well, Jensen's free kick at the other end was a blueprint for set-piece perfection. Thierry Henry has been there himself and very nearly matched it. Kylie scrambling across to get a limb on it. Edu's corner. Carlton Cole's header out. Snow has started to fall. Bergkamp. Leave it out by Young rather awkwardly. Henry can concern him, and does, and hits the top of the crossbar. Running at Young and then squeezing his shot against Young's outstretched boot. Carlton Cole. It's by Ashley Cole. And getting round him and delivering well. And Stewart rising at the back post, just couldn't lever it in. That's a big chance for Charlton. Stewart might well hold his head. Having been presented here with a more than reasonable chance to equalise for Charlton. Yeah. Pires. Reyes. Well, he's not been here long, but we can already say he's done it before from there. On by Cole. Followed by Fortune. Out by Lauren. In again by Fish. This is cut-tie stuff from Charlton. Johansson! Oh! And away from Di Canio by Siegel. And Jonathan Johansson has a head in his hands because he was, what, half an inch away from grabbing a spectacular and extraordinary equaliser for Charlton, who still attack now. Away by Vieira. And on by Siegel. And here is Reyes, with Ashley Cole ahead of him. And Cole for Henry, and Arsenal can seal it here. Thierry Henry, and Gilberto! From end to end, in seconds. With what speed and zest do Arsenal bring. They could have sealed it here, but moments before, they could so easily have frittered it away. Johansson brilliantly overhead, denied by a post. A winter wonderland this does not feel like to Thierry Henry. It is icy out there. Well, on Arsenal roll. Not as regal as has regularly been the case recently, but it is now 6 wins on the spin for them. 29 games unbeaten in the Premiership. Jonathan Johansson rattled their post in stoppage time. Thierry Henry, weeks ago it seems, having scored their second, following up Robert Pires, all within the first 3.5 minutes. Jensen's free kick gave Charlton hope. They deserved something in the end, but they didn't get it. Arsenal roll on, 2-1 winners.
Arsene, you almost managed not to win that.
Yes, we played some outstanding football, but you could see a little bit everything in this game today. We were fluent, passing the ball very well in the first part of the game after 2-0 up. In the second half, I think we were dropped physically.
You've just had a look at Robert Pires' goal and you're convinced he's just offside, aren't you?
Well, I was sitting upstairs and, you see this so many times where players, balls are laid square. Certainly when teams are on the break, it's laid square, and the linesmen, I don't think, take into account where they are. And I was sitting upstairs and I thought he was offside. And I've seen a replay of it, and I'm not going to change my mind on that. I'm very disappointed with it.
Your overhead kick right at the very end, a moment when heroism flashed in front of your eyes. Did you think it was in?
Well, I didn't really see it. I turned around and it hit the post. I was a bit gutted in that, and I think it would have been a great point for us, a great point for the fans, and it would have been a good goal to score.
And Arsenal, Manchester United dropped points again today. It's a 9-point lead now. Don't pretend not to be pleased by that.
Well, you don't cry when your opponents lose points, but that is not the most important. You could see that how difficult it is to win the games for Man United, for us, for Chelsea. Every game is tied, and in a 3-point system, it goes very quickly.
Now, just when you thought it was safe to keep watching, we've got to talk about offside, Robbie. The 2 Arsenal goals. Come on, give us your interpretation.
Do we have to?
Yeah. Then we'll ring my aunt, see what she thinks.
We'll go through the first one, which I think is a little bit more straightforward, Des, and I'm going to run this real time, so we see it as the linesman will see. This is Arsenal, as they do ever so well. They move the ball around, play with good pace and good movement. There's a give-and-go situation with Lundberg. It's fired across the 6-yard box, and Pires is in there to score. Now, this is a problem the linesman had. There's Pires, top of your picture. There's the movement. The ball's going to get delivered. Possibly what is half a yard, maybe offside. But you've got to remember the linesman looking across the play, across lots of bodies. I can see why I might not give that one. The second one now, we've seen Henry top of the picture. He's just walking back from an attack. Vieira gets played on the counter-attack there. You can see the Charlton boys clearly know that Henry's offside. They want an offside flag now. It's not given. Vieira's able to stride on forward. This new interpretation. Des, is it first phase, is it second phase? I wish I knew.
Come on, Robbie,
It's in the back of the net. The crowd are cheering. That means it's a goal. 5 minutes on the clock. Arsenal are 2-0 up, and it looked like a long
What should
afternoon.
have happened there, though? I mean, it is just down to the referee. And
I think
linesmen.
they're the hardest team to officiate, Arsenal, because
Pace.
they play it with such pace, such accuracy. They delay that final ball along the 6-yard box. Hey, I tell you, wouldn't want to be a linesman if you was getting paid a fortune. No way. It's the hardest job in the world trying to officiate.
Do you think that was an Henry ploy?
Of course he is. He's clever. He does it every week. We've seen him doing it for weeks on end. He's very, very clever, and it's almost unstoppable.
He does, but I'll tell you what else they do, Des, Arsenal. They play some wonderful football. At times, we see in the way they play that they just open teams up. What I like about them at times, they play with great width. You'll see here, this is a throw-in situation. Watch what happens as the ball's on the left-hand side of Charlton's pitch at the moment. They've got confidence in each other. They play with great pace, and they open the game up. Now look how they've stretched Charlton down the right-hand side. Gaps are created. This time it's Ashley Cole who bursts through. Only surprise for me is that there's not an Arsenal striker knocking that in 6 yards out. Again, not only do they play with good width, but what I like, they play with a great depth as well. Look at Henry, he's top of the picture. He's the one who's holding the Charlton back line, holding them back up there. That creates the depth that they can now play those passes in. Why you might ask why that's important. Well, now you create that area in front of the back four. That's the key area that Arsenal like to play. This time Edu's in there, but often we've seen Pires, we've seen Lundberg. More often than not, we see Bergkamp. Once the ball goes into that middleman, then they're off. Now it's about that attacking play. Now it's about the flow and the fluid movement. Interchange of passes. This time Ashley Cole ends up in the centre forward position, and he's very unlucky not to get a shot on target.
Brilliant stuff.
It's brilliant football, and not only the football, Des.
Great spirit, isn't it?
It's an unbelievable spirit. Look at them after the second goal. That's the team getting together. This is a team that's just right in the groove at the moment.
Now, what about Charlton? Much credit must go to them today. Great fight back. Nearly pulled it out, didn't they?
First 5 minutes, nowhere. Last 5 minutes, it was all Charlton. Arsenal were hanging on. I mean, Charlton, they got a little bit of luck, Arsenal, at times. Slightly unlucky, I thought, in conceding this free kick. I think Lauren clearly wins the ball. Yes, he takes a little bit of Di Canio after, but defenders do that. Wonderful free kick from Jensen. Lehmann's a mere spectator as this goes in. But you do need your little bit of luck if you're going to be champions. We've seen Manchester United not getting any luck with their penalty claim earlier today. You'll see Stewart there just gets ahead of the ball. Arsenal able to clear the danger. Now, last couple of minutes, Johansson, wonderful effort, hits the post. Why doesn't this bounce back to a forward coming in? Why doesn't it bounce in? Because maybe when you're champions, you just get that little bit of luck.
11 games to go, Andy. Can they do it unbeaten all
Well,
the way?
they can. They're showing it at the moment. There's no signs that they're going to let up. As Robbie says, they're getting a wee bit of luck. We've highlighted a few games where there's obviously going to be... They're all tough games, but the ones we've highlighted, they're the white ones. United, Liverpool, Newcastle, Tottenham. They'll be tough for them to win. It will be an amazing achievement if they do it. But I tell you what, I wouldn't put it past them.
OK. Right, well, with Manchester United drawing today, a Chelsea win would put them second. Next, we'll see if they got it against Manchester City.